On today's show, Audi updates the A7 Sportback. Land Rover doesn't want to show concepts over copycat fears. And are mobility services destroying America's desire for road trips? All that and more coming right up on Autoline Daily. This is Autoline Daily, the show for enthusiasts of the automotive industry. Volkswagen is investing billions of dollars to develop electric vehicles and to test out and show off its technology. The company will enter an all-EV race car to compete in next year's Pikes Peak Challenge. VW only released this teaser image and didn't reveal many details about the all-wheel drive prototype, but it is aiming to set a new record for the electric cars at the event. The current record was set by Rise Millen last year. The amount of time a dealer waits to respond to a lead can have a significant impact on whether that person makes an appointment with them or not. And contrary to what you might think, faster is not always better. That's according to TrackBack, a firm that specializes in automotive sales lead and customer engagement. It says dealers that wait 15 minutes to an hour do the best, with appointment conversion rates of 49% by phone and 12% by email. Any quicker than that, and those numbers drop to 8% and 7% respectively. TrackBack says customers are actually scared off by the fast response. They feel it's a little too out there and too much like Big Brother. There are a number of other factors that come into play with appointment conversion rates, like what time of day a call is made. But as we all know, just getting a person into the showroom significantly increases a dealer's chance to make a sale. Land Rover hasn't shown a true concept vehicle since 2014, and now we know why. The company's head of design told Auto Express it's, quote, wary of showing concepts because it fears its design will be copied. He's worried a copycat would make it to market before Land Rover launches its production version. And it's not just paranoia. The company has been a victim of rip-offs before, most notably the Landwind X7 SUV from Xiaoling Motors that is the spitting image of the Range Rover Evoque. Audi will allow you to park your car with an app, and that's coming up next.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone Tires, your journey, our passion. Dow Automotive Systems, advanced materials that deliver better results. Lear, a global leader in automotive seating and electrical systems. And by Hyundai, better drives us.
Audi just refreshed the A7 Sportback, and here are some of the highlights. It's more sculpted and crisper looking. Notice that the grille is wider and lower, and that the headlights are narrower, and the rear of the car looks more severe. An integrated spoiler extends automatically at 75 miles an hour. The biggest changes in the car are all electronically related. With the driver out of the car and using a phone app, the A7 Sportback can be directed into a parking space or garage, but not autonomously. The driver has to press a button the entire time the car is parking. And it will be interesting to see where Audi prices this car. Depending on the equipment level, the system uses as many as 5 radar sensors, 5 cameras, 12 ultrasonic sensors, and a laser scanner. The start-stop system now activates at 17 miles an hour, and the engine restarts as soon as the vehicle ahead begins to move. Speaking of engines, they will all be mild hybrids. The 2 V6 engines offered use a 48-volt hybrid system. There will be 4-cylinder engines as well, both gasoline and diesel. The A7 Sportback goes on sale in Germany in February of 2018 with a base price of $80,000. Nissan ran an electric vehicle-to-grid energy test program in Denmark, and due to its success, it's getting set to roll out the service in Europe. By charging the vehicles during off-peak hours and selling back the electricity during high demand, the fleet of electric NV200 vans were able to make users €40 or $47 a week. Every Leaf and eNV200 since 2012 has the ability to return energy to the grid. Nissan says Germany will likely be the first to get the service, then other European countries after that, and followed by other global markets. Will autonomous cars and mobility services destroy the American culture of getting in a car and going to new places? We'll look into that right after this.
Bridgestone's revolutionary drive car tires are engineered to take a puncture and drive up to 50 miles on a flat.
I feel unstoppable, like a superhero.
With a sidekick.
Yeah, you're my sidekick, right, bud?
No.
Okay.
The automobile played a huge role in making America the country it is today. But with the growing popularity of ride-sharing and the dawn of the autonomous car, will the country lose its wanderlust? That's the topic on Autoline this week, and here's a taste of what our panel had to say.
I think we are, because when you think about it, every dimension of the American experience has been shaped by the automobile. The roads we use to wander around the country, the road food that's been a byproduct of that, the music. Go to the Henry Ford Museum and you realize that the American experience is the automobile, and the automobile is the American experience. They're intertwined to the degree that I'm afraid if we push into this autonomous land view of the world, it's going to take something away from, you know, the fabric of the American spirit. I really believe that.
Mikhail, how do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, they're huge headwinds that, you know, the car and the love of the automobile are facing right now. And, you know, not the least of which for young people are economic. It's more and more expensive to own a car. It's more and more expensive to park them and use them and fuel them and insure them and all of that stuff. And so there's a real economic challenge that young people are facing. Now, I remind people that millennials are now turning 36, 37-ish, so they're not 18-year-old communists. They're, you know, real people with real interests and jobs and everything else. But it's still very expensive. But there's another big trend that I think is driving a lot of the autonomous thing, maybe we can get into it a bit later, is that a lot of this, I believe, is about cities. Is that, you know, people are moving to cities for reasons other than cars or not cars. It's about, you know, it's about density, it's about connections, it's about connectivity. I mean, I was with the mayor of London recently, and he said, you know, the future is going to be about cities and mayors, and that 60% of the global GDP by 2030 or 35 is going to be in 25 megacities around the world. That countries and states won't matter. So these headwinds are definitely will have an effect. But I'm a little bit more sanguine about the whole notion that I think there may be more room for people who actually love cars to be out on the road driving.
To see even more about what our panel has to say, you can watch that entire discussion right now on Autoline.tv, or you can find it on our YouTube channel. And finally, we couldn't wrap up today's show without this public service announcement. You've seen these bumper stickers for decades. Well, now The Onion reports that the organization, 1-800-EAT-SHIT, is publishing decades worth of reckless driving data. It says the idea of using a bumper sticker to collect data was unorthodox, but paid off with a massive amount of information, including drivers speeding through toll booths, cutting off other drivers, and failing to use their turn signals. They're publishing the data because it could potentially reduce traffic accidents by 15%. Anyone who wants more information, or even those who want to criticize the effort, are encouraged to call the number. And with that, we wrap up today's show. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.
Wards is the industry leader for news, data, and analysis. That's why companies across the globe subscribe to our premium service, maybe even your own. Log in for subscriber access now. Check your company's intranet for details, and rely on wardsauto.com to keep you informed.